Welcome back to the session once again, guys. It's your boy Walker FX, and as you all know, we always come here every week to give you an outlook on what's gonna happen on the market, in the week ahead of us. And we always analyze our favorite pairs, which is gold, BTC, DXY, and sometimes silver. And it has been going on pretty great. If you have been following my old videos, you will notice that at least everything that we do here, this is not a signal, right? This is an outlook, right? Yeah, this is an outlook to give you an idea of what's gonna happen in the market, right? So it's not a signal, and it's also not a financial advice. You have to do your own analysis and trade on your own, right? So remember to give me a follow, and I believe by the end of this video you understand how I trade and how I take my trades, and have an idea on what's gonna happen in the market, or what might happen, or what we are looking out for in the market next week. So let's not waste much time today. I might analyze BTC as well, so let's not waste much time. Let's just quickly jump into the market. If you have been watching my previous videos, DXY hasn't really moved, right? DXY hasn't really moved like that. If you've been watching my YouTube videos about my weekly outlooks, I've been analyzing DXY the same way, and it's still the same. I've not had any change of character on DXY, right? DXY is still bullish. Yeah, DXY is still bullish, guys. DXY is still bullish, right? You can see from the trend line, it has been respecting this trend. This is the daily time frame, right? So it has been respecting these trend lines, and I told you, if a trend line will be valid, it needs to have one or two touches, or 2 or 3 touches, right? So we've gotten the first touch, second touch over here, and now price price is coming to the third touch. It might not even come to the third touch, right? Because we have a zone over here, right? So basically this level is basically on the chart, on the trend line as well. Basically it's on the trend line, because price might move like this, before getting on the trend line. Price might move like this, and it might still be on the chart. It might consolidate on the trend line before we see any impulsive move, right? So like, what I want to let you know is price is still bullish. We don't trade trend lines, but it helps you indicate the direction of the market, right? And it's also good. People trade trend lines as well, and they are profitable. I also include trend line in my analysis. So trend line is like fundamental, basic foundation of analysis or technical analysis. You cannot exclude trend lines in your analysis. So this is a first clue that DXY is bullish, right? And we've had a break of structure over here. Second confluence that price is bullish, creating higher highs and higher lows. We got another break of structure here as well, right? So price is basically in an uptrend. And what are we seeing here? After we got this break of structure, or after we created a new high, price is coming back. After we created this new high, we can see price is coming back to create a higher low. So since we are anticipating buys or looking out for buys, we are expecting price to give us something like this, right? Because that is what it has been doing. Let's go back. Let's take it back over here. We got a higher high over here, higher low. We got a higher high, we got a higher low. Now we got a higher high over here, right? Let's use this one because this was the high that broke this one. We got a higher high over here. Now price is giving us a higher low. So what are we expecting? A new higher high to form, right? This is the daily time frame. So this is basically like, you know, if you follow my analysis, it's beginner friendly, right? I don't complicate anything. This is beginner friendly. So this is what we are looking out for. We are anticipating or expecting on DXY to give us, we are now expecting a higher high, right, to happen, for price to push all the way up. Because when we go to the weekly, we can see that we have a whole lot of, you know, gaps that needs to be filled. When you look on your left, we have a whole lot of gaps over here, right? So this is weekly. That's when you see the market very clear, right? The weekly time frame is also trading what? Bullish, right? Trading bullish. So basically DXY is bullish for now, right? So let's go back to the daily time frame as well. Let's go back to the daily. So this is what we are seeing on daily. The weekly gives us a clear or bigger picture, but we don't want to complicate a lot of things. Let's go to the daily, because when you look at my previous videos, you already know I've analyzed on the weekly and monthly. I don't want to go back again, right? Let's go to the current price action and see what's doing. So we can see this recent pullback that's happening on this demand zone, right? It's happening on this demand zone. So one, before, or what even is giving us an idea that price might buy or price want to buy, one is, you know, currently at the demand zone over here. And can you see something that's happening? When price got to this demand zone, we've been seeing a lot of rejection, so it has created a support level over here. Let's go to the 4 hour. That's when you see the support level. This is the 4 hour. Can you see the support level? First touch, second touch, third touch, right? So this is a support level which is valid, giving you an idea that price wants to buy, right? So what are we expecting? We are expecting price to break. So now we are experiencing some kind of consolidation, right? So what are we expecting? We are expecting price to break this consolidation to the upside, give us a retest, and buy to this next supply zone. This is very simple, right? This is very simple as ABC. So this is what we are anticipating on DXY. Very, very, very clear price action. You can see higher highs, you can see price creating a new higher low and wanting to push upwards to create a new higher high, right? So this is what we are expecting. And before, the reason why we are analyzing DXY, we want to see what will happen in the other pairs. And if you don't know DXY is basically the United States dollar, right, index. So if you are trading gold has dollar in it. If you are trading BTC, Euro USD, GBP USD, silver, all of them has dollar in it, right? So you cannot overlook this pair. You cannot overlook this pair. That's why we are analyzing this pair, right? So if we are expecting bullish movements on these pairs, you have to know that we'll be expecting bearish movements on pairs like gold, silver, BTC, Euro USD, GBP USD. We'll be expecting, you know, sales on those pairs, right? So let's quickly, since we have an idea of what the dollar is doing, let's quickly jump into the, let's quickly go to gold and analyze gold. Understand? Let's quickly analyze gold. So as you can see, DXY is being bearish, right? That bullish, right? That's why gold is also bearish. That's like I told you, if DXY is bullish, definitely gold will be bearish. We have been seeing gold creating, you know, bearish movements, right? And what is happening over here? Gold has been buying the whole of last week, right? The overall picture is bearish, right? The overall structure is bearish, right? So these buys that you are seeing, unless this level gets broken, that's when I'll be more convinced that gold wants to push, you know, up. But since that level hasn't been broken, I'm still not convinced. You understand? I'm still not convinced unless this level is being broken. like this. Unless we see something like this, then a retest, that's when gold will start pushing up. That's when I'll be fully convinced to start looking for buy opportunities. But for now, this whole movement you are seeing is some sort of a correction to react to certain zones to continue the downwards movement, right? Do you understand? Because we can see gold being bearish all the time throughout the whole year, right? So where are we looking for? And you can see the current price, where price is currently at, is on the trend line. And also, let's draw this zone was our previous demand zone that was supposed to buy price, right? Price needed to get here, and price got here, you should have bought, right? But what happened? It disrespected it to the downside, respected this zone and sold. Now price is coming to this zone again. It has come to this zone again, but that's not where we are looking out for. We are not focused on that side. We still have a lot of things that will indicate sales, right? We have an order block over here. This is the order block that broke this previous support level. Do you understand? This is the order block that broke this previous support level to the downside, right? And now we can see price coming back to this order block, right? And also it's also respecting the trend line. And what happened? This is the daily time frame. We had a fair start over here on Tuesday. Price got here to this zone, gave us rejected to the downside. On Thursday, no, this one is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, this one is Tuesday. Price go to the order block, it's rejected. On Wednesday, it got there again, it's rejected. On Thursday, it got there again, it gave us a strong sell. And this Friday, price has given us an indecision candle, and it closed below this previous daily Thursday candle, closed below, right? Which indicates that this level is also very, very strong. This level is also very strong because of this order block. You understand? Because of that order block. And lastly, my confluence. When we draw our Fibonacci, to the last point where price got before seeing before price started retracing, we can see that price is currently in the golden zone, our zone where we normally take our entries, right? So everything is indicating that price is currently at where we want to sell, right? Everything is giving sales, right? Everything is giving sales at this point. And this is the daily time frame. This is the bigger picture, right? So we cannot overlook, and price has already been, price have started reacting in these zones, right? So let's go to the lower time frame to see any change of character in that zone. And in the lower time frame, my 1 hour is even my lower time frame, right? On my 1 hour time frame, I've seen change of character. I've seen price also creating lower lows and lower highs, right? Can you see that? Lower low, lower high, lower low, right? Now price has pulled back to this supply and has started reacting. So we might see price dropping all the way to the downside, right? On the higher time frame, your higher time frame needs to align with your lower time frame, right? On daily, price is currently at a supply zone or an order block and has started reacting. On the 1 hour time frame, we've seen change of character, and we've been seeing bearish movement. So we don't need to complicate anything. Price, we are anticipating for sales. Since we are anticipating for buys on DXY, we are anticipating for sales on gold to the downside. So this is what I'm looking out for on gold to the downside. This is basically what I'm looking out for on gold. Yeah, so let's go to let me see if we can analyze silver. Silver is basically doing the same thing. And Euro USD, if you have been Euro USD, I've already analyzed it. Euro USD is still, since I told you, if you're expecting DXY to buy, we're expecting these sales, these currencies to sell. Euro USD is currently at this, you know, supply zone or an order block and can sell anytime, right? But we expect it to push a bit higher to this zone before selling. You can see I've already done my analysis. Very simple. You know, my strategy or my analysis is basically the same, right? Same thing happened over here. Price broke structure to the downside. Some people might call it a change of character, but what happened? Price came to this trend line and sold massively to the downside, right? This was a change of character that happened over here. So you might think price has, you know, changed character, so you'll be looking for buy opportunities. But what happened? Price came here, respected this order block, and sold massively to the downside, right? So this is what is happening also. Price has broken this level. You might think it's a change of character, but you don't know it's coming here because the overall trend is bearish, right? So it's coming here to respect this this supply zone or order block to push a bit lower. Do you understand? So always you have to look at the bigger picture, you know. So this is basically Euro USD, no complications, just pure price action. Let's go to BTC and let's see what BTC is doing. BTC is also bearish, super bearish, right? We can see BTC is also very bearish. Initially this was the support level, right? Price ended up breaking the support level to the downside. Now price, let me use this one. Price ended up breaking this support level to this side. It came back to retest it, sold again, right? Price came here to retest it again, and it's starting to sell. So that should tell you that this zone, this support level has, you know, indirectly or basically turned to resistance level. And if you trade support level, one thing I always tell you, you have to know that support levels in the nearby future becomes resistance in the nearby future becomes support. So this one is just like support level turning to resistance, right? And you can see it has been reacting, right? So what are we expecting? Anything can happen, you know. This is trading. Price can disrespect this zone, come here and sell and buy massively, right? Because we have when you look to your left, we have a whole level where price needs to go before we can see some sales, right? But if we don't see anything like that, what we are expecting is for price, because we can see a small minor support level also over here. So price is kind of consolidating. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. You see, when you go to the 4-hour time frame, that's when you see the bigger picture. Price is kind of consolidating. So since we are expecting sales, what are we saying? We have to expect some kind of break from this support, like how it's happening on the daily time frame. Give us a retest and sell to the downside. Understand? So this is basically BTC. We are still expecting sales on BTC to the downside to this level. Yeah, so today I wouldn't like to make the video long, yeah, because when it's long it's kind of boring, right? So this is basically what we are expecting next week, right? Yeah, so do well to subscribe to the channel, like and share the video for everyone to watch. And I'll do this every weekend, right? So you might learn from me the way I trade and also grab some knowledge as well. So remember to subscribe and like, comment and share for more trading content. See you next week.